Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is real life, little home, that's why I stayed down. I done came up off that boy, look what I made now. Like Nike, I just do it.
First of all, you can obviously already see here I picked Gonzaga as the winner. I'm not trying to hide that from you or anything, but we just want to talk about why I picked everything I did. So first of all, Gonzaga winning the first round, obviously, because they're Gonzaga and they're really good. Next, moving on to Oklahoma and Missouri. I picked Oklahoma to win this primarily because the Big 12 is a lot better than the SEC, so I think their losses have looked better and been more impressive than Missouri's. They're pretty even teams, but I just think they've had better losses. Oklahoma has. Next, move on to Creighton. This one was actually pretty tough for me. There's always a few 5-12 upsets in March Madness. Creighton just came off of a blowout loss to Georgetown, and I'm big on getting momentum in your conference tournament right before March Madness begins. But other than that, Creighton had a good year. Their offense is really good, so I still have Creighton winning this one. Next is Virginia. Virginia was the best team in the ACC this year. They had the best record in the ACC. They couldn't finish the ACC tournament because of COVID, so I think that they had a chance to win the ACC tournament if they could have played through it. So I moved Virginia on. USC, I have moving on because of Evan Mobley. He's going to be a top 3 pick in the draft. I think having a top 3 player can carry you at least one round in March Madness. So we have them moving on. Kansas also eliminated from the Big 12 tournament because of COVID. I think they would have done big things. Oregon, moving on. I think the Pac-12 the Pac-12 is really weak. Just VCU's wins weren't that impressive this year. Neither was Oregon's, but they won 11 of their last 12 games going into the Pac-12 championship, which they ended up losing. So I don't think they're that great, but I think they'll beat VCU. And Iowa, I think that Iowa's pretty good, but Luka Garza will carry them through this one. So moving down here, I got Michigan winning the first round. Next, LSU. I was pretty impressed with LSU against Alabama in the SEC championship. I think they can do good things. I got Georgetown beating Colorado because Georgetown won the Big East tournament in a surprising fashion. I think the Pac-12 was really weak, so I picked Georgetown to be that 12-5 upset. I got Florida State beating UNC Greensboro. They made it to the ACC championship and lost, but just making it there was pretty impressive. Got BYU over UCLA. I think BYU's coach, Mark Pope, is really, really good. I think that BYU played really well from down. I think that Mark Pope makes great adjustments and everything at halftime if the other team is doing really well at the beginning of the game, which I think UCLA will do. And then I got Texas moving on, mainly because Shaka Smart is also, again, a really good coach. I got UConn taking on Maryland. I got UConn coming out. Maryland's good wins were earlier in the season. UConn has had a lot of their better wins near the end of the season, so that's why I have them. And then Alabama, because Alabama looked awesome in the SEC tournament. So I got Alabama beating UConn. They'll go on and play Texas, who beats BYU. I think Texas I just think the Big 12 is so good that anybody who made it out alive in the Big 12 is probably also really good. I got Florida State beating Georgetown. Georgetown had a losing record going into the Big East championship, but they ended up pulling it off. So I think that they'll carry the momentum for one round, but I don't think it'll take them too far. Then I got Michigan beating LSU. I think that one will be close because I think Michigan is a little overrated, and I think LSU is pretty good. But let's keep going up, actually. Okay, I got Kansas upsetting Iowa here. I think Kansas would have gone pretty far in the Big 12 tournament had they not had COVID. Got Gonzaga beating Virginia because I've got them winning the whole thing. So we'll move this over. Gonzaga beats Kansas, and I have Texas beating Florida State, and so Gonzaga versus Texas in the Final Four. And then obviously I have Gonzaga winning that. Okay, now taking a look at the other side of the bracket. This was not 5 minutes. Wow. I got Baylor winning first game, North Carolina beating Wisconsin. That one is going to be a really close game. I think it's super evenly matched. It was mainly because I think that like Wisconsin lost their last 3 games going into the Big Ten tournament. So I just don't think don't think they peaked at the right time. Next, I got Villanova because most of the teams that Winthrop beat this year I've never heard of. So there's that. I got Purdue over North Texas. Purdue had some really bad losses, and they also had some really great wins. They seemed to take down a lot of the elites in the Big Ten from time to time. Then I got Texas Tech because Mac McClung is awesome, and so I think he'll carry them to beat Utah State, although I think that will be a good one. I got Arkansas because Colgate, here's the teams that Colgate played this year. They played Army 4 times, Boston U 5 times, and Holy Cross 4 times. They basically only played 3 teams their whole season, and they just cycled through them over and over and over again. So I got Arkansas winning there. I have, I have Virginia Tech beating Florida here. This one I think is super close. I don't really have much of a reason. I think either way, but I'm taking Virginia Tech here. Got Ohio State winning. I think Ohio State is really good. And let us move on. I guess I'll just do the rest of this one. So I got Baylor beating North Carolina. I've got, Baylor beats North Carolina. I've got Texas Tech beating Arkansas. Ohio State beats Virginia Tech. And I got Baylor and Ohio State facing off here. And Ohio State taking that one and moving on. So let's go here. I got Illinois. Then I got Georgia Tech because they won the ACC championship and seemed to have peaked at the right time. I have Oregon State taking Tennessee. I changed this one at the last minute because the Pac-12 is so bad that winning the Pac-12 is not very impressive. But just riding the momentum and everything, I don't think Tennessee is that impressive either. I have Oregon State pulling off the upset here, being a 12 beating a 5. Oklahoma State, I have winning. I think the Oklahoma State is really good. Cade Cunningham is a baller, so I think they're going to be pretty good. I got San Diego State winning here. And I could have gone either way with this one as well. I ended up going with San Diego State because they haven't lost since January 10th, I believe. And then West Virginia, again, another Big 12 team. I think Big 12 is really good. They're going to move on. I have Rutgers beating Clemson, mainly because the Big 10 is better than the ACC. So I think Rutgers have just played better opponents all season. Then I got Houston moving on. I think Houston's kind of underrated, actually. So I got them moving on, doing good things. And let's charge through this at the end. I've got Houston winning and moving on. And I got West Virginia. Then I have Illinois coming from the top here. Got Oklahoma State facing off. I have Illinois winning that one. I think Illinois is also, they're number 1 seed. So obviously they're not underrated. But I think people kind of overlook them. But they have been playing really, really well at the end of the season here. I have them going and playing Ohio State, beating Ohio State, going to the championship, and barely losing to Gonzaga. So Gonzaga and Illinois facing off. That's what I have. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with, and good luck with March Madness.